We are the Fourth. We are MC.
Royals baseball comes to you from sunny Southern California. The Royals begin a 7-game road trip on the West Coast tonight with 3 games against the Angels. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with former Angels great Rex Hudler. I'm Brian Lefevre. It'll be Danny Duffy going for the Royals tonight, Nick Tropiano for the Angels. Danny Duffy 3 starts ago was about as low as he's been, both with his ERA and emotionally, and boy, has he bounced back in his last 2.
The tide has turned, and it's a beautiful thing. The team needs him in the worst way. He's got to become that leader and the ace that Ned Yost thought he had when he named him that opening day. He's been pitching like it the last 2. Look at that, only 2 runs. That's because he's pitching more with his fastball, more conviction, bringing in his secondary pitches, but also, like you're seeing, use that defense. And matter of fact, that defense has been sparkling. So continue your winning ways here in game 1 of the 3.
Angel starter Nick Tropiano has also been very good in his last 2, and one of his best starts of the year was in Kansas City back in April. Is brought to you by the Missouri Lottery. Every ticket played is back to Missouri schools, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Find yours at your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. Last year, the Royals had a great year against the Angels. They went 6-1, but back in Kansas City in April, the Angels won all 3. A 3-game series begins in Southern California tonight. The lineups and the first pitch are next. 4th, and then play 4 games against the A's. Here's our GMC starting lineup for the Royals tonight. John Jay will lead off. He'll be the designated hitter. See if the Royals can get going in the first inning like they have been lately. The Royals still have the best average and the second best on base percentage in the major leagues in the first inning. And tonight they'll be facing right-hander Nick Tropiano, who is really good against the Royals back in April.
You know, he's got some pitches he's going to move around the zone, that's for sure. He's going to use all of them. 245 opponent average. He's kept the ball in the park somewhat, 8 home runs. But you know, the Royals, they want to stick to their guns. They want to get the big hits when they can. I mean, when they need to. That means shorten up your swing. His pitch breakdown, fastballs, just about 50%. The breaking balls, that's a split finger. You know, his curve and slider, those are all combination pitches that he's going to mix in. So look for your spot out over the plate and drive it. Defensively, the Halos, they got Upton out in left field, Trout in center, and Chris Young in right. They've been trying to get by without Calhoun, their right fielder. Marte's the first baseman, Kinsler, Simmons, Cozart, Maldonado. Simmons might be the best shortstop in the American League.
And there's Mike Trout, and as you would expect, among the league leaders in just about every major offensive category. And he had 2 home runs against the Royals when they were in KC back in April. First pitch of the game is in for a strike from Nick Tropiano to John Jay, who hit a home run yesterday in his first in 442 at-bats. That was the longest active streak in the major leagues. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that was his 70th hit of the year, which is the 7th most in the American League.
I asked him how it felt to get off the schneid after all those at-bats. And he said, I don't care. He goes, I'm happy to be doing my job. I like to play every day. And I'm going to run into one every once in a while.
And the number of hits he gets and how often he gets on base is his primary job with the Royals, and he has a .360 on base percentage.
So it's not like that home run is going to take him away from his game. That's what he was telling me, basically.
Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. So, back in April on the 12th, Nick Tropiano was making his first start in 2 seasons. He missed all of 2017 with Tommy John surgery, and he pitched 6 2/3 scoreless innings against the Royals. John Jay goes down and gets a low pitch and drives it into right field for a game-opening single.
Nicely done. You could see it from the booth up here how he was able to go down with his back leg. Look at that, almost touched the ground at his knee on contact. That's what you do. You leverage the height of your stance to go down to be able to barrel a ball 3 inches off the ground. That's about what that was, 3 to 4.
Royals had some hitting streaks snapped over the weekend series. John Jay, 12-gamer, Alex Gordon, 8-gamer, and yesterday Whit Merrifield's 8-game hitting streak came to an end. But he checks in at 294, and he's starting to put some numbers up against right-hand pitching.
Well, you know, the way they spin the ball nowadays, that with the breaking ball, the curve of the slider, if you try to jump on it and pull it, the chances of getting hits are just not as good as if you use the opposite field. He should be okay against righties because he's such a good bottom hand hitter. Really goes to the opposite field well.
One ball, 1 strike. he has been great against left-hand pitching. Now against righties, overall 231, but over the past 2 weeks, he's hit 375 against righties. A little bit low, according to home plate umpire Gabe Morales. And now breaking balls outside. So Tropiano's not missing by much, but he's missing. At least that's what Gabe Morales is saying, and it's 3-1.
Yeah, but I like how Whitley's eyeballing him. A lot of guys be swinging over the top of that. He's able to, especially in your first at bat, seeing pitches like that, that's good for later on.
John Jay has 3 stolen bases this year. He's been thrown out a couple of times. And Angels catcher Martin Maldonado has only thrown out 2 of 10. So we'll see if the Royals get their running game going tonight as Witt skies one to left field.
Well,
the ball is carrying. And Upton just keeps going back and then finally bumps into the wall. But John Jay figured he was going to make the play, so he was standing on first, and he'll tag up and go to second base.
Well, when the ball was hit, you could tell that it was hit well, but I didn't believe it would be that well. Ran him up. You know, that's a tough play. He kind of drifted on it, but when you get a ball that high with that kind of launch angle, that's not easy. So good job for John Jay to read that.
The weather is hardly ever a factor in Southern California, but at the moment there is some wind blowing out, so that helped Merrifield and the Royals. They get John Jay into scoring position for Mike Moustakas, and he hits a shot just foul. I mean, just foul.
Moose took off out of that box like it was going to be down. Fair. Just missed.
Now foul ball the other way, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Moustakas had 2 different homestands. He was really good against Minnesota. He had a home run, 6 driven in, and then the A's held him to just 1 for 11 in that 3-game series without an RBI.
It's not like him. Moose has been pulling off the ball a little bit.
And that's into right field. John Jay is going to be waved home, and Young will play it to second base. And Mike Moustakas drives in his 40th, and the Royals, here they go again, scoring in the first inning.
Nicely done. When you get your pitch, you can pull it. And Moose knows how to do that. Right against the shift. John Jay had to freeze momentarily. Didn't want to get caught on a liner.
The Royals have now scored 49 runs in the first inning. That's the most in the American League. And now Salvador Perez takes a strike, and the A's pitched him well in that 3-game series. Salvi was just 1 for 9. He did drive in a couple of runs. Oh, and 2. That's hit well to center field, but Mike Trout is there. 2 down. Time for Lowe's whole team together. And if there was one concern for the Angels when they were at Kauffman Stadium in April, it was their starting rotation. They had injuries, and the Angels used 9 different starting pitchers in their first 15 games. That starting pitching has come together recently, according to those numbers. And Angels starters did not allow an earned run in their previous series, 3-game series with the Texas Rangers. So this run here in the first inning tonight for the Royals is the first run allowed by the rotation on this homestand.
Yep, peaks and valleys, but you know they got a tough division here. If they're going to win, they've got to pitch. They got to figure out some more pieces of their bullpen as well.
Two 2-0 on Jorge Soler, who was back on the upswing offensively with 2 doubles and 4 home runs over his last 9 games. Two and 1.
Most of the guys in the Royals lineup have faced him before, but not a big sample size. Soler 0 for 3. Looks like he was guessing right there. Want to see the ball. Tropiano is not overpowering, so you pick up that rotation as soon as you can. Keep your hands back.
Wouldn't go for it this time. 3 balls, 1 strike. And I'm going to guess that Tropiano is not going to challenge him right here with a fastball right down the middle.
I'm going to say not. You're going to try to keep it off the plate.
Perfect spot.
Whew. He did keep it off the plate. You're going to try it again right there. That's a nice little downhill angle.
So 3-2 with 2 outs, and Moustakas is running. And Soler takes a strike. Tropiano comes back from 3-1 to strike out Soler. The Royals get a run on the Moustakas RBI, and now Southern Californian Danny Duffy will take the mound for the Royals tonight. Order. Angels have power in that order. They have the 4th most home runs in the American League, and they also run. Last year, Mike Scioscia had his team doing what they were doing when they were winning all those division titles, and they led the league in stolen bases. So Danny Duffy has to worry about power, and he has to worry about speed.
Yep, but if he can pitch under the power bats, and he can trust Salvador Perez to help him with the base runners, he should be all right. Like it, going from his stretch, it's a little bit more deceptive, and that's coming from the hitters. They say he throws all 4 pitches. You see that 4-2 seam, breaking ball changeup from that stretch position, mixed in with a slide step, disrupts their timing. At that 94 right there is what he wants to do, and what he's been doing, establishing it on the corners and down. Both mom and dad and family are there, hanging out, look a little nervous early on. But early countouts are going to help.
Soler almost overran it, but he's there to take care of Kinsler, and there's one down.
Royals forward around the horn. Royals defense. There's Almonte's getting a chance in center field. Alex Gordon, we know he's going to make a play. Soler in right. Hunter Dozier getting a chance back at first base. He told me that he doesn't really care for the designated hitter. He is in the lineup. It does make him feel good that Ned would put him in there, but he can't handle the 41 minutes in between at bats. No, thank you. He said he likes to play the field.
One out to Mike Trout. It's a fastball for a strike. I mentioned last half inning, he's always among the league leaders in just about everything, and here is where he ranks in the top 2: home runs, on base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, and walks, and he's also stealing bases. One ball, one strike.
Great low ball hitter. Gonna try to beat him. He might beat him up top.
Salvi runs to the screen, and it's on the other side.
Oh man, you know, Salvi, his eyes were big as saucers coming back, because he's thinking, we got a chance for an easy out on Trout. I gotta make that play. Anything in foul territory, which is not a big foul grounds here, but to get a hitter of his caliber out any way you can, there's a sense of urgency there. But I liked how Salvi let Moose know that the breaking ball was coming, and Moose moved 2 steps towards the line.
Bouncing ball into center field for a base hit. Trout is on with 1 out.
Topspin. Ball 1-2 hopper. It's through. No chance.
That'll bring up Justin Upton, who has homered 12 times. He's only batting .235, and he's already struck out 72 times. Over the inside corner for strike 1.
You know, Duffy, he has a couple of different looks for the base runner over there, Trout. He's got a step off move that's a pretty good one. Means he can't get too far off initially. And then Duffy has a couple different pickoff throws.
Changeup is down and away.
Being quick home helps.
Trout has stolen 13, which is tied for 3rd in the league. He does not have a big lead. Fastball right by Upton at 95 miles an hour.
And see now from the stretch and the slide step, I mean, it's not too favorable for Trout to run with a situation. Anything under 1.3 seconds from the time Duffy breaks his hands to Salvi's glove, it's not enough time for Trout really to get a good jump and steal it. And with Salvi's arm. Better off waiting.
Timeout had been called. Two and two. Danny did not see the Angels when they're in Kauffman Stadium in April, but last year he had one of his best starts against the Angels. He gave up 1 run in 7 innings. And now Upton on a 2-2 pitch lines it to right. Soler was on it in a hurry, and then he throws a rocket over to Moustakas. So the Angels have runners at first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, he tried to fastball away from him, and Upton with a perfect swing. Let the ball travel deep towards the catcher's glove. Short, compact, led with his bottom hand. Tagged it.
And now Albert Pujols. And when the Angels were in Kansas City, Albert was moving up on 3,000 hits. And he got that 3,000 hit in early May at Seattle. High and inside for ball 1. He is in a tie right now with Lou Brock for 27th all time. 7th all time in home runs, 8th all time in RBIs. And when he got his 3,000 hit, he became just the 4th player all time with 3,000 hits and 600 home runs, joining Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, and Alex Rodriguez. And when he gets to 2,000 RBIs, eventually, he's at 1948. That will put him in even more elite company. Only Hank Aaron has 600 home runs, 3,000 hits, and 2,000 RBIs, and pretty soon it'll be Hank Aaron and Albert Pujols.
Yeah, it's very impressive that we can see a player perform right here that it's one of the greatest of all time. It's outstanding to watch his talent. And he's doing pretty well. Duffy's staying with the heater on him. The rap that older players have is they can't get around on a fastball like they used to, but Albert's not having any trouble. He has to cheat a little bit like most guys do. You got to get going a little bit sooner, but
and that's up and in, and the bases are loaded with 1 out. So Duffy was off to a good start, getting Kinsler on a fly ball to right. And now 2 singles and a walk, and they're loaded up for Andrelton Simmons. Simmons has had a very nice year. When you think about him, immediately you think about his glove, but he's really developing into a fine hitter. He has an 11-game hitting streak. He's also had a 12-game hitting streak this year. And if Danny Duffy needs a strikeout right here, this is one of the toughest hitters in the major leagues to strike out. And he throws a fastball right by him at 95.
I mean, he had a hack right there. Maybe a little bit too strong as his head pulled some, but he's 3 for 3 this year with him loaded up is Simmons. And he's going to put it in play. You just hope that you can hit it at somebody and they can put him in the lane.
That 336 average is the 2nd best in the league. High and deep to center field, but playable. Now Monte makes the play. Trout tags and comes down from 3rd. Upton goes to 3rd, and the Angels tie the game at
1. He got his top hand on it. Now he wanted it down. Salvi did, but it was a little bit above the belt. Simmons knew he didn't get it enough for a slam, but plenty deep enough for a run.
And now Zach Cozart with runners at first and third. Again, Duffy is aggressive with his fastball. Cozart had been out recently with a tight left forearm and returned to the lineup yesterday. Former shortstop in Cincinnati and then signed on with the Angels to play third. Hit high in the air to left field, and it's carrying on Alex, who makes a play right in front of the track. So the Royals get one, the Angels get one, and we're tied at the end of one. Father's Day is coming up, so that means in Major League Baseball, we're going to be raising money for prostate cancer research. Michael Milken is here, and he joins us every year as we're coming up on Father's Day, and has been the driving force with the home run challenge to, first of all, raise awareness and funds for prostate cancer research. And did I read that you've raised in upwards of $50 million?
$50 million from home runs.
Oh, congratulations.
And that's been matched 10-1 from other people that match, so it's actually raised $500 million.
And that'll keep Dad in the game, won't it?
Alex Gordon now to center field, and Mike Trout makes a play. One pitch.
So that was the idea. And when we launched it, keep Dad in the game, go get checked. Today, we've now had 8 drugs approved. That death rate has dropped by 50%, and we're on second base, ready to make it to third and home and eliminate prostate cancer as a cause of death.
Wow.
And so it's been a long journey, but with Fox and the Royals, you know, I got my special Royals hat on tonight for the game.
Powder blue. Now, will you wear that same hat when you go talk to the Angels tonight?
Well, we don't know yet. But I've heard, you know, they're a little concerned with 2 of you in the booth here, knowing the Angels so well in Southern California.
Here's Hunter Dozier with one out. And that's a fair ball inside third and all the way down into the corner. And Hunter Dozier will be in scoring position with one out in the second inning. Has the age for early screening changed at all over the last 20 years? What is the recommended age that men should be getting checked?
I'd say it hasn't. If you're an African American, because they have a almost 100% higher death rate, no later than 40. If you have a family where someone's had breast cancer, prostate cancer, ovarian cancer, by 40. You know, myself, I was diagnosed at 45, but definitely by 50 for anyone who doesn't have cancer in their family. And it's been quite a journey, these home runs in Major League Baseball. Just seeing the death rate drop by so significantly, over 50%, and they had projected an increase. One of the things we see now is the link, because of the ability to sequence your genome you've read about, sequence your cancer, and what a difference that has made. It's allowed us to identify there's 28 types of prostate cancer. Some are more aggressive than others. Some don't seem to go anywhere. And for those men, they might not need surgery, radiation, or anything because of sequencing. The other thing sequencing has allowed you to do is see the link between different cancers. One of the forms of prostate cancer has the same mutation as 90% of all the deaths from colon cancer. So when you deal with that one form of prostate cancer, you're going to pretty much eliminate colon cancer as a cause of death.
Interesting. Wow. And what I've heard from prostate cancer success stories is the mortality rate is dramatically decreased with early detection, right? I mean, is it one of the most treatable cancers if you get it early, and then one of the most dangerous cancers if you wait too late?
Well, that's where it was when we started, but we have 8 drugs approved, and there's one of these drugs now, people that have failed surgery or radiation or hormones, that has dropped the death rate itself by almost 25%. There is an average life expectancy of at least 5 years now for 99% of people, whether you're diagnosed early or late. And that's where the money that's gone from these games and that beautiful stadium in Kansas City, where I have seen a lot of hits. A lot of hits. I remember I was at a game, 15 hits by the Royals, 1 home run. So they're right now ranked 27th in the Major League in home runs.
Okay, you've done your homework.
But we're hoping that this sequence, every game counts between June 1st and Father's Day, June 17th.
Escobar back through the middle, and the Royals are going to regain the lead. So Dozier doubles, Escobar gets him home, and it is 2-1 KC.
We've been actually thinking maybe we should count doubles.
Why not?
From that. You can learn all about this at homerunchallenge.org.
Yeah, I wanted to get to that too, because now we got a runner at first base with 1 out. The inning could be over in a flash, but I wanted you to give the details if someone wanted to contribute, and and the contributions that may not seem big at the time. If people can't give a lot, everything counts.
Right. So there's about 500 home runs. So if you pledged $1, that would be $500. If you pledged a dime, that'd be $50. Because every home run counts. Rex, you might remember in the very first years, we used to give it for strikeouts.
Okay.
And, we used to send these letters to pitchers telling them it was really bad. I know they were disappointed, but at least something good came out of it. After 2 years, we got a letter from Major League Baseball, drop the strikeouts. We're not thanking pitchers right now for striking people out. We want to see home runs. It's more exciting. But as you know, the number of strikeouts has dramatically increased, and home runs in the major leagues. Now, there was a rumor that since Joe Torre is so involved with our program at the Prostate Cancer Foundation, that he had something to do with the baseball. I just want to put an end to that.
So Joe Torre juiced the baseballs. Is that what you're saying? Wow.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that was a rumor. I wanted to put an end to that rumor. Okay.
Well, hey, if they're juicing the baseballs for a good cause, that's a completely different perspective.
That is true.
Right?
That is true.
I mean, if we're keeping Dad in the game with all these home runs, and that's acceptable.
Last year, it was amazing. The most home runs ever hit in the first 2 or so weeks of June in history occurred. So we had over about 2.5 home runs per game. But there has, why do you think we have such a substantial increase in home runs? People swinging for the ball, more?
You know, I think there's a little bit more emphasis on the backside of the ball, a little lift at the end, little launch angle. There's more guys that are lifting and swinging for the fences more than trying to beat the shift on the ground. I would say that's one of the reasons. Rhino, what would you say?
Well, I think guys are stronger. You know, the pitching has something to do with it too. I mean, these guys are throwing a lot harder. They're providing a lot of the power now.
I agree.
I mean, it doesn't seem that long ago, Hud. We were doing games, maybe not together, as before, you know, you came to the Royals, but if a guy threw 95, we'd go, wow, this guy throws 95.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, Michael, those guys are out in the parking lot right now trying to get into the stadium throwing 95 miles an hour.
Yeah, and then from my experience, Michael, hitting one like that, if you just put a good easy swing on it, it was amazing how the ball would just jump without a big long swing.
Escobar runs, the pitch is low, and Escobar gets under the tag. Simmons isn't sure, so I'm sure the Angels will take another look.
Look at him staying up on top. Good hands there on the tag. That's where you prefer it. If it's not on, you know, in the air, on the ground, because you can make the tag a lot quicker. Esky got a good jump.
I was at the World Series when the Royals won a few years ago, and what amazed me was just how they kept the ball in play. Singles, doubles, just amazing, you know, how they played the game, moved the player along, etc.
Michael, they pressured defenses, and they found ways to score runs when pitching is so dominant in postseason. They found ways to pressure. If the defensive team they're playing against made them err, they made them pay, and we could run the bases, and that's how we scored our runs.
The Angels are going to challenge, by the way, and there's supposed to be a 30-second limit as they're trying to find ways to speed things up. The Angels went way over that.
It looked to me from that angle that he didn't apply the tag on his shin. He hit the dirt, but his hands are so quick, Simmons. Watch how he's going to be real soft with the glove and then just drop it.
I wonder if the Angels here are not challenging whether Simmons applied the tag before Escobar got there, but if Escobar at any point came off the bag and Simmons did what you need to do in today's replay age, and that is keep the glove on the runner. But second base umpire Jerry Meals was right there.
Okay, let's see if he keeps the tag on him. Escobar's going to come popping off the base. Okay, he's still got the tag on his leg, and his right hand's on the bag.
Hey, Michael, while we still have you, how early was your prostate cancer detected?
Well, I was 45, and I had a good friend. His name was Steve Ross. He was really the person that built Time Warner. And he had been diagnosed with prostate cancer and eventually passed away from it. And so I went to the doctor. He told me, you know, you're too young. I said, well, why don't you just humor me? And if you're going to take my cholesterol, why don't you just test? It's a simple blood test. And that's how I discovered it, and mine had spread through my body. And had I not had that test, I wouldn't be with you in the booth today. And I think it's testimony to the fact you wish that every life-threatening disease had an early warning sign.
Angels just lost their challenge as Escobar is safe at second base.
So in this case, there really is no reason why you shouldn't get tested. It's no different than getting your cholesterol checked.
So you can just go see your normal doctor and say, hey, I want, just ask that this could be among the other
Correct.
tests. Okay.
And now there's even more exact tests, a PSMA test, and eventually there'll be a genetic test that you can take. And that one will probably be just testing your urine.
This will get Escobar over to third as Almonte is out. And
so there you have almost 16 million Americans today who've been diagnosed with cancer living normal lives. And when you think back a couple decades, a person said they had cancer, you're now starting to think, well, maybe they're going to pass away soon, what it is. Today, the message we want to make sure people understand is that cancer, in most cases, is going to be put into remission through modern techniques. And in the case of prostate cancer with Major League Baseball, the death rate's been reduced more than any other form of cancer.
And the early screening and the test is so important because this is a cancer that shows no symptoms, right?
Well, if eventually, if you let it grow, you'll start having pain in your bones and things like that. But for early stage, you don't really have any symptoms. And I just can't stress to the viewers tonight just the dramatic changes that have occurred. A good percentage of that research has occurred in the area around Kansas City also. But it's not just prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is linked to breast cancer, linked to ovarian cancer today with similar mutations, and as I mentioned before, colon cancer.
Royals are going to take a 3-1 lead as John Jay has his second hit. So Escobar, who drove in a run, now scores a run.
There's the other element we've learned so much about in nutrition. And for everyone today, you can actually sequence your microbiome. What used to cost $1 billion now costs less than $1,000, and someday it'll be $100. And you can actually see what's happening to your body when you eat things and how it changes. And so the idea is if you can change your microbiome by what you eat, you can change how your genes are expressed. And so science has come so far in the 23 years since we bought this. No one had their genome sequenced when we started this program.
You were just either born that way or you weren't, right?
Well, and also
that was the old belief.
You couldn't even do it. By 2003 or 4, it cost $1 billion to do it. And it shows you today it's less than $1,000. So you're going to have something called precision health, where you can actually say, okay, for you, maybe eating broccoli, cooked tomatoes and things serves to put your cancer in remission, slow growth of cancer, has a positive effect. Likewise, we know now that significant sugar actually shortens your lifespan, your average lifespan, by as much, 2 soft drinks a day, by as much as 4 years.
You just broke Rex's heart, by the way, when you said that. There you go, Hud. Let's
Coke.
go. It's time to clean it up, man.
Sprite.
Let's go.
No
Broccoli and tomatoes. So the next time you want a Coke, I'm going to see you chewing on a piece of broccoli instead.
Thank you.
We're trying to,
Michael, thanks.
Hud's
man.
a father. We're trying to keep Dad in the game,
Yeah.
too.
As a matter of fact, my kids will tell you they have to sneak a soda in the house to get it one in. But hey, Michael, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
educating our audience and educating us. Every year we learn something from you.
HomeRunChallenge.org.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
In the third, Escobar drove in and scored a run in the second inning. Refreshing saves from Price Chopper and Aquafina. Sign up at mypricechopper.com/saves to save on Aquafina when the Royals get a save. And the chances are pretty good when Kelvin Herrera comes in the way he's been going this year.
Ooh, man, you better believe it.
That's a little bit outside to Jeffrey Marte, the Angels' first baseman, number 7 hitter. So Duffy will get the lower third of the order. And just like in his previous 2 starts, Duffy is staying aggressive with his fastball.
Yep, and I like it. That first inning, he was staying aggressive with it. And he was able to get it out on the sac fly from Simmons with him loaded, and that ended up being a pretty good pitch for him. He really got a run. That's what got him here, and that's what's going to keep him here. Because there was obviously something going wrong his first 6 starts or so. He just was getting hit, and it's not like him to get hit like that. But mainly was coming off of his secondary pitches.
Nothing but fastballs to Jeffrey Marte. Danny's thrown 25 pitches tonight. 20 have been fastballs. And look at how much that pitch has spiked over his last 2. Coincidentally, or maybe not coincidentally, Danny's been very good in his last 2 starts. And now off speed and hit foul.
And then you saw how Marte looked so off balance there, and that's because he's got him sitting on heater. And then that makes that secondary pitch even more effective when you use your fastball more. Earlier on, they were sitting on his off-speed pitches.
Base hit left field. So Marte is on to begin the bottom of the 2nd inning.
See it. First part of that trailing yellow trail there was elevated eye high. He saw it.
And that snaps an 0 for 16 for Jeffrey Marte. And here's the Angels catcher Martin Maldonado. And he gets a fastball across the kneecaps. And like Marte, Maldonado comes into tonight scuffling a bit. He is just 1 for his last 12. And that's well hit into left center field. Marte is going to go first to third, and now the ball gets through the Royals outfield. And Marte will come around to score, and Maldonado will go into second base.
Oh, that was interesting. As it sounded like it was going to split the gap, but it ended up hitting off the end. But when it hit the turf here, it plugged, it stopped, and Alex overran it, and so did Almonte. Like it had a little extra topspin or something was funky there, because Alex normally, when he goes for a ball like that, he's going to glove it. But nobody touched it. There's some discombobulated roots to the ball.
Yeah, to me it looked like a couple things went wrong in that play.
Yeah.
Number one, Alex missed it. That never happens. But if you are backing up another outfielder, you want to create a little bit more space, don't you?
Yeah, you have to knock that ball down, pick it up, keep the runner off second.
So the error's on Alex. That allows Marte to score and Maldonado to go to second. No RBI. Oh, 2 on Chris Young. Still no balls, 2 strikes. He'll get more playing time in right field. Cole Calhoun was placed on the disabled list 2 days ago. The Angels regular right fielder. Our University of Kansas Health System injury report update. Out with a right oblique strain. And that's not the only thing that was strained when he went down. He was hitting 145. And we are in early June. That's not 145 in the middle or late April where you have just a small sample size of at-bats.
No. A lot of swing and misses. It's going to give a guy like Young a chance. He's a veteran. He can play anywhere on the corners.
Look out. Into the Angels dugout.
I'm sure Danny Duffy and Salvador Perez, when they started talking about doing their homework about the Angels, they saw this. The left-handed pitching this season has been pretty dominant against the Angels. They've had a hard time. Their average is low, on-base percentage, but so far they haven't had too tough a time with Duffy. But those are the overall numbers facing left-handers.
Fouled away again. Duffy has had 2 strikes on several of the Angels hitters. He hasn't been able to put him away the way he had liked. He has not had a swing and miss yet on either his breaking ball or his changeup.
Ninth pitch coming. It's good AB he's got going here.
Changeup is up and away. Ian Kinsler is on deck. That's backing out of play. And now Duffy's next pitch will be number 40. And there's nobody out in the second inning. Another foul ball. So pitch number 12 is coming up in this Duffy-Chris Young matchup. We have not had a scoreless inning yet. The Royals got 1 in the first. The Angels got 1 in the first. The Royals scored 2 in the second, and now the Angels have a run in the second. Very high to left field. Maldonado goes back to second base. He will tag and hold. 1 down.
Hey Royals fans, if you can't catch a game on TV, you can stream games live on your mobile device. Download the Fox Sports Go app, log in, and stream the Royals.
Ian Kinsler bats for the second time. Duffy got him on a fly ball to right field in the first inning. Fouled back and out of play. When the Royals saw the Angels in April, Ian Kinsler had been on the disabled list, but of course he came off the disabled list to face the Royals. And on the second pitch that he saw in that series, he hit a home run. Yeah. So different uniform, same result.
And I talked to him today about that when he was standing there waiting for batting practice, and I said, when the Royals got in the airspace last night, did you start getting excited about the potential of Royals pitchers coming and you tagging them? He goes, you know what? You know the teams that you play well against and you don't, but you know, that's baseball. Who knows? Who knows what can happen? So he kind of played it coyly, but believe me, he knows he's done well against his team. He was real matter of fact, but a good guy. Hard-working guy.
Out into right field. Soler fades back. Maldonado again will hold at second base. So a run home and then a runner at second with nobody out, but Maldonado's still there with 2 down. And now Danny will get Mike Trout, who grounded a single into center field in the first inning and then came home on Simmons' sacrifice fly. Inside for ball 1. As decorated as Mike Trout already is in his not very long career, he is hitting .300. He has 15 home runs. He has 50 walks entering June, and now the Royals will put him on. And look at how rare that is. Joins Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, and Frank Thomas, all of which are either Hall of Famers or should be Hall of Famers, if not for other circumstances.
Yep. No question he's in that company, but that's 51 walk. Or he got hit by a pitch there. Or they walked.
Let's just say all have Hall of Fame numbers.
I would agree.
So 2 on 2 out for Justin Upton. Inside for ball 1. Upton went the other way and singled to right in the first inning, helping set up the Angels' first run. He has done well against Danny Duffy in the past. Fooled by a changeup, and now 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Duff's going to have to pitch him tough here.
Two and 1.
Yep, that's good numbers. He's taking him deep a couple of times. He wants to pop him up here. Get an easy ground ball to Eske.
Three balls, 1 strike. Albert Pujols is on deck. And Duffy has thrown 50 pitches already. So he's on an average of 25 per inning. Three and 2.
Okay, Upton's a 186 hitter with a runner in scoring position. Pujols is a 295 hitter. So if that makes a difference, he might could go get him here. His change up in the upper part of the zone. Got plenty of.
Runners go. And Duffy misses down and in. So an intentional walk followed by a non-intentional walk. Duffy's walked 3, and now he has to deal with Pujols with the bases loaded and 2 down. And here comes pitching coach Cal Eldred.
Sometimes Cal says he lets them, the battery mates, decide what they want to do. He said, you know, what do you guys want to do here? But he did most of the talking there.
Pujols was the first to walk against Duffy tonight. "14 career grand slams.
They haven't hit one yet this year.
First pitch changeups in for a strike. Here's what you were talking about earlier, Hud. Sometimes a sign of a hitter's bat speed slowing is that they can't catch up to a fastball, and specifically an elevated fastball. That, however, has not been a problem for Pujols. He's hitting .342 against elevated fastballs.
Yeah, and talking with his hitting coach, Eric Hinsky, today, was talking about how impressive Albert's been on heaters that are up with some velocity on him. He says he's short and compact, and swing is quick. I mean, there's a 94 right there. He's way out in front of. So he is cheating a little.
Actually, .342 is his well hit average, which is more impressive than batting average. I mean, because you could bloop one in there for a base hit, but when he swings at an elevated fastball, more than 1/3 of the time he's hitting the ball hard. Duffy's ahead 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Like a strikeout in the worst way here.
To left field, deep, but not deep enough. So out of all that, the Angels get 1, and they leave the bases loaded. The Royals lead 3-2 at the end of 2.
Mike Moustakas was the 2nd overall pick in the major leagues. That was 2007, now set to lead off the inning. Joel Goldberg right by Moose in the on-deck circle, and of course he grew up here in Southern California. He says that he remembers it like yesterday. They had a party at his house. It was his mom, his dad, his sisters, his friends, the future Mrs. Moustakas, his girlfriend at the time, Stephanie, and it was only 4 years later that he would make his big league debut right here in Anaheim, had his first hit, and then had his first big league homer in his 2nd game. But Moose said he knew David Price would go 1 in that draft, thought that he'd be somewhere around 5 to 18, had met with the Royals, but nothing big in the meeting. And he said right before that 2nd pick, he tapped his friend on the shoulder and said, "I'm going here." But he was joking. Then the cheers and the hugs followed, and he said that it took him a second to actually realize what had happened. And of course, the rest is history, as Moose, in front of friends and family in 2011, hitting that first big league homer.
Thank you, Joel. And now a little squib off the end of the bat, and that's going to kick foul up against the side wall, and Moustakas is going to turn it into a double. That ball is still rolling around out there. Justin Upton was trying to keep it under control, but that thing was spinning and whistling, and
Look at Trupiano.
He couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, that really upsets pitchers in the worst way. A ball that's mishit. But Moose will take it 15th double. But you looked at Trupiano, the pitcher, and he's totally disgusted. And look at the spin on that ball. Wow. Oh, my.
So Salvador Perez with a runner in scoring position. Salvi flied out to center field in the first inning. To add to Joel's story, Mike Moustakas had another huge home run in this ballpark when he homered in extra innings here in the 2014 Division Series to put the Royals up 1-0.
Yeah, I remember. Awesome. Quieted this crowd down.
That hit the bag. And a nice play at third by Cozart. The crowd is reacting. They think that's an out because it popped in the air and he caught it. So that saved a run by keeping the ball in the infield. But the Royals have runners at first and third and nobody out.
Usually when that ball hits the bag, that's no problem. That's clean, and that's going to be extra bases. But look at this. How about Cozart? That ball stayed up just enough, saved a run for Trupiano. Good play. You don't get many like that.
Attention Wildcat fans, get your theme ticket for K-State night. It's coming up on Friday, June 15th, presented by Rally House and Fox Sports Kansas City. Redeem your ticket at Gate A at 5:30 before the Royals take on the Astros and get that K-State themed Royals cap. That's a game against the Astros, who are leading the Angels division, or rather are a game back in the Angels division. Seattle, without Robinson Cano, is in first place. They are 15 games above 500.
They're on a real roll. Good for them. 8-2 in their last 10.
Soler was ahead in the count in his last at bat, 3-1, and Tropiano came back and struck him out looking. Chased a breaking ball down and away. We were just having this conversation 2 days ago about Soler. It's not about his ability to hit that pitch. It's about his ability to not swing at that pitch.
That's right. He's gonna his last time up, he took a called third on a slider that was right in the middle, belt high. He was guessing and he guessed wrong.
Got that call. Soler doesn't like it. 1-2.
Maldonado did a pretty good job of bringing that back out, making it look good for home plate umpire Gabe Morales.
Two and two. That's a good sign. And both teams are making the pitchers work tonight. Cozart's been busy. He's going to come to the plate. Well, Mike Moustakas tried to stay in the rundown long enough for further advance, but that will not happen. So from first and third and nobody out to first and second and one down.
Cozart was able to react. He didn't get a grip on the ball the first time. Look at and then he saw there's an easy out there, I can get it, but the throw was way offline towards the first base side of the home plate. Moose couldn't read it in time.
Alex Gordon flying out to center field his first time up. Out in front, 0-1. Oh, and 2.
Staying with his off speed, his change up and split finger, there's a difference. That was a straight change. The pitch before that went away from Alex. And that's a pitch he wants Alex to try to pull. With 1 out, roll over the second baseman. Alex wants to stay inside the ball, especially 0-2 here.
Changeup, got him. And now they're 2 down.
You see how Trupiano really falls off hard to the first base side. Using some body language to kind of disguise the changeup.
Hunter Dozier with 1 out in the second inning doubled and scored on Escobar's base hit. You don't say this very often, but Tropiano is a crafty righty.
He's pitching like it.
And so what does he do with runners in scoring position? Well, he doesn't throw many strikes, at least compared to the league. I mean, he nibbles and he relies on hitters chasing, and he's gotten the Royals to do that in this inning. Dozier hits it high in the air to left field. And Upton backpedals onto the track. So a promising start, but Tropiano pitches out of it, and the Royals strand 2 in the 3rd. To a special day at Kauffman Stadium on Father's Day. The Royals will play the Astros Sunday, June 17th. Be one of the first 10,000 males through the gates to take home a pair of Royals barbecue tongs. Royals.com/promotions to purchase your tickets. So sorry, ladies, males only on Father's Day. Andrelton Simmons drove in the Angels' first run with a sacrifice fly in the first inning. And in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Danny Duffy's had 2 long innings. He threw 21 pitches in the first inning. He threw 34 pitches in the second inning. And now this is pitch number 60. And Simmons was all geared up for a fastball, and Duffy and Salvi found the perfect time to throw him a changeup.
The Angels are making him work.
Popped up. Dozier across the line and now on the line. Makes the catch. It is a foul ball catch. And there's one down. Well, how'd you say the Angels are making him work? Mike Scioscia is going to make him work tonight. Danny's had a tough time with right-hand batters. Now that's been better in his last 2 starts. But every hitter that Danny's going to face tonight is going to be right-handed. Another pop-up, and he could really use a quick inning. Moustakas makes the play right next to Escobar.
Oh, it helps. That off-speed pitch, that changeup's got him out in front. Look at Escobar in the back of Duffy. Him and Moose, they're laughing and having a good time. You know, that's so important when you're playing a kid's game, to continue to remember that's what it is, and it's fun. Let's have fun, guys. Do the best you can and laugh at the little things. Keeps you loose.
And with a strike to Jeffrey Marte. Would you refer to Danny Duffy as being a fly ball pitcher?
We've seen him roll up a lot of double plays in the last year or so, but look at that. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's strictly a fly ball pitcher. I think tonight he's using his fastball so much that when he throws that changeup, he's popping them up. Ooh, man. Yeah, but you know, it just sometimes depends. I think that when he's going good, he uses the defense. We saw that in his good years. Pitches to contact. Keeps the ball down.
Two and two on Marte. Duffy was almost all fastballs first time to the order, and now mixing in a lot more changeup second time through. Fastball is ripped into left field in between Moustakas and Escobar. And Marte is 2 for 2.
Salvi wanted it in, it stayed out.
Martin Maldonado single to left center his first time up, and then the ball was misplayed in the outfield, and Jeffrey Marte scored from first. He's first pitch ripping and fouls it straight back.
And that slide step Duffy used didn't seem to fool Maldonado. He had a pretty good rip.
And lost grip on the bat with that swing. Marte, in case you're wondering, is 0 out of 0 in stolen base attempts this year.
Yep, I don't think Duffy's too concerned about him, but he is thrown over.
I've heard many left-hand pitchers say, especially the ones with the good move, you don't pick off the good base runners. You pick off, and I don't know if you would say bad base runner, but you pick off guys who think, hey, he's not going to be worried about me, and they're not concentrating on the move. Whereas a proven base stealer is going to hone in more on that pitcher's move, so maybe that's why Duffy was trying to get Marte.
Yep, that's true for that.
Either way, scoreless third for Duffy. The Royals lead 3-2.
All military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Three-two Royals. Alcides Escobar has scored a run. He's driven in a run. He also has a stolen base tonight. He'll lead off, followed by Abraham Almonte and John Jay. There was one word to describe the way the first three innings have gone for Nick Tropiano and Danny Duffy, it would be labored. They have thrown a lot of pitches. And it wasn't until the third inning that either Duffy or Tropiano had a scoreless inning. Tropiano is coming up on 60 pitches. Pitch number 59 is in for a strike to Escobar. Esky extended his hitting streak to 6 games with his base hit in the second inning. No balls, 2 strikes.
Scouting report that Charles Nagy, Angels pitching coach, was telling me for Tropiano before the game was to be aggressive in the strike zone, but he hadn't really been aggressive in the strike zone. He's getting some hitters to chase like that.
That is his third strikeout.
And this is a Mo lottery replay designed to do exactly that. Trick the batter. Comes out, looks up in the zone, but when they put the spin on it, it breaks down and out of the zone, and he can't put it in play very well, or at all.
catcher Maldonado, there was no secret there what he was doing before that pitch. He was trying to position Marte over at first. And when Almonte batted in the second inning, he grounded out to Marte. So finally, Maldonado got Marte where he wanted him. Tropiano's done a good job of getting the Royals to chase a lot of pitches down and out of the strike zone tonight.
No question. Offense might have to make some in-game adjustments. Be a little more selective. It's just the second time through, last batter.
And if the Royals keep swinging at it, he's going to keep throwing it.
That's exactly right, until you lay off it. Catcher sees that.
That pitch was up, and it wasn't grounded to Marte, but you got another ground ball to the right side from Almonte, 2 down. And now John Jay, who is already 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. That was his home run yesterday, and it was a hanging breaking ball. Arquilla drive to success. That should not have been a surprise that he homered on a breaking ball from a right-hander if you really want to break him down. Hitting over 400 against breaking balls from right-handers, and Tropiano throws him a fastball. Tropiano's been throwing a lot of breaking balls, and that .405 batting average against right-handed breakers is 3rd best in the major leagues.
Yep, 2 hits today were on the split finger and the fastball. He's on everything, and he basically what he's looking for are pitches in the area of the middle of the plate, and when he gets them, he's not trying to do too much with them. He's got a good level swing, but also he leads with his bottom hand, and he's not pull conscious. He's put the ball in play conscious wherever it's pitched. That's the idea.
Choking up a little bit, well, quite a bit actually, when he gets to 2 strikes. One of the first things our little league coaches would scream at us with 2 strikes: choke up on the bat.
That means that you can balance the bat better and control it better, and shorten up your swing. Don't necessarily have to when a hitter's count. You still have some power there. And some guys think that if you feel the knob, that you know, you got a little leverage on the knob, and then some other guys put their pinky over the knob to get way down there. It's all personal preference, just like the bat and the size, the color. There it is. See the movement? See him moving his hands, his bat, fingers, and all that. It's all about rhythm and timing and staying loose. To be able to react to a ball coming at you at that speed, you have to be loose, and then naturally your hands will tighten up when you make contact. But you will react quicker. Watch out. Eighth pitch coming. Look at it. Plus, he eyeballs with both eyes. He didn't look across the bridge of his nose. He's got both eyes fixated on the release point.
That swing right there, even though it was a foul ball, is a good indication of why he's hitting .310 right now. Maldonado, just like Salvador Perez, will stick his hand out and let the right side of the infield know that a breaking ball's coming. So they were expecting him to pull that ball, but John Jay fouled it away to the left side. And now he got him to chase a changeup down and away. Tropiano has struck out 4, and that's his first 1-2-3 inning.
World Cup, FIFA coming to Fox Sports 1 with every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event is just 10 days away on Fox and Fox Sports 1. FIFA.
Chris Young, Ian Kinsler, and Mike Trout in the bottom of the 4th inning. Danny Duffy needs that. 1 pitch, 1 out. Chris Young has flied to left in both of his at-bats. Danny threw 21 pitches in the first, 36 in the second, and then just 13 last inning. And now just 1 pitch to get an out in the 4th. Ian Kinsler has flied out to right field twice. And Duffy's trend of getting outs in the air continues. All 10 of his outs have been either a fly ball or a pop-up. And that pitch is upstairs. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. Mentioned when Kinsler had that leadoff home run when the Angels were at Kauffman Stadium back in April. That'll be back into the crowd. You know, he is 4th all time now with leadoff home runs.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, he hunts a lot of first pitches, that's for sure. I've seen him hit several of them.
Ricky Henderson, far and away, is the all-time leader. One ball, 2 strikes. I want to say this might have been one of our sprint trivia questions, but Ricky Henderson did it 82 times. Craig Biggio 53. Biggio was 3rd. Then Kinsler. 2nd all time, Alfonso Soriano.
That was a question.
And I think maybe it's because you don't think of Alfonso Soriano as being a leadoff type guy because he struck out a lot.
Yeah, but he had big time power.
At least maybe not a traditional leadoff.
Yeah,
hitter.
no, he wasn't.
Dozier makes a play in foul territory. Ian Kinsler is 0 for 3. Can you believe that?
I think it's good. Keep our fingers crossed.
Help us celebrate this special season of Royals baseball with the 50 Seasons Shirt Series presented by Charlie Hustle. The next one coming up requires a theme ticket to receive the 2nd t-shirt in the series on June 18th when the Royals host the Rangers. Royals.com/theme tickets. Mike Trout has singled and scored, and he's been on with an intentional walk. Two 2-0. Had him reaching, but he's a strong man. Alex is there to make the catch. So Duffy has his first 1-2-3 inning. We played 4, and the Royals still lead 3-2. facing pitchers throwing a lot of off-speed pitches tonight. Nick Tropiano. Our Kubota Power Stats. Whit Merrifield has the highest batting average against changeups in the major leagues this year. What would you take from that if you'd never seen Whit Merrifield hit? And I said, Hud, there's a guy in Kansas City who leads the major leagues in batting average against changeups. What's the first thing that would pop in your mind?
I would look to see how many singles and doubles they were, and if there was any power mixed in, that would change my answer. But I'm going to say he's a guy who uses the whole field, who's not trying to just pull them. If he had pull power and he hit 4 or 5 homers out of that, I would say, you know, he's ambushing changeups. He's looking for them, but he's not. Changeups, left-handers and right-handers, you got to look both ways. And he can also do that, but it's too foul. Line to line is where the money is. It's all out there, all in the green. And Whitley's got a tremendous bottom hand, and he has the ability to wait, and that's the hardest thing for a hitter. Wait. You want to jump out there and hit it.
Oh and 2. Whit has seen 10 pitches from Tropiano tonight, no changeups. So he's probably aware of that statistic, and now fastball at 91 is fouled away. Hit well to left field, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. So Whit, after losing an 8-game hitting streak yesterday, has started a new one tonight. He is 1 for 3, and the Royals have a runner at second with nobody out.
League leading 18th double, and it's a breaking ball. Not surprised. Bottom part of the zone, out in front, on contact. He knew it was a double. Maybe more if the ball plays a little bit better off that wall and gets by up there.
Mike Moustakas is 2 for 2 with an RBI single and a squib double up the left field line. There's a changeup down and away.
Yeah, I meant to say team leading 18th double, not league leading. He's leading the Royals. Is Whitley. Moose would gladly pass the baton to him. Trade places.
It is unlikely that Whit would steal third right here, but he has that reputation. So Tropiano, before delivering the first 2 pitches to Moustakas, gave him a long look.
Well, Whitley leads the majors with 7 steals, a third. And you know, you have to have the courage and the willingness to do that. Plus, we were talking before the game, Whitley and I, about you can get a bigger lead at second than you can at first, because there's not a guy on the bag holding you on. You can walk into your lead, but you have to have the courage to do it.
Tropiano didn't look very interested in challenging Mike Moustakas there. He's on with nobody out.
All right, look at how quick he is. The reason he's such a good base stealer is he's quick with his jumps. And any track star will tell you that that's important in winning a race. On the second base, see, he can walk into his lead there. He doesn't have to go from a stationary position. He walks into it, he gets a bigger lead, and his chances of being safe at third are much higher.
Last year, Whit had 34 to lead the American League, and it seemed very unlikely this year with D. Gordon in the American League, but Gordon has spent some time on the disabled list. So we'll see. There's Charles Nagy. About to have a chat with Tropiano with 2 on and nobody out. And now they're going to work in the Angels bullpen. Salvi has flied to center, and he is singled off of third base. which ended up being a big play because the ball stayed on the infield. Otherwise, Moustakas would have scored, and then eventually the Royals were scoreless in that inning. Now lifted to center. Trout gets behind it, and no tag. One down.
Surprised Salvi swinging at the first pitch?
No.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Jim Johnson is throwing in the Angel bullpen. Well, Salvi swings at first pitches. That's just who he is. But with a crafty righty like Tropiano, he doesn't give up a lot of hits on the first pitch. That foul ball got his catcher. Tropiano really coming across tonight as a guy who would really prey on an aggressive swinging team. He has done a really good job of making unhittable pitches look hittable.
See if Soler can't give him a parting gift.
0-2. So there's the one fastball, but he's thrown so many breaking balls you can't blame Soler, thinking, you know, he's going to get another one, and sure enough, he lays one in there at 91 miles an hour.
That was his cookie.
You can't beat fun at the old
yeah,
ballpark.
Now watch out here. He's not going to give him anything good.
That is a huge wild pitch for the Royals. That puts runners at second and third, and now Soler can drive in a run by making an out.
And that would be the first wild pitch of the season. Tropiano.
Maldonado looked like he was taking a little extra time to try and figure out what he wanted Tropiano to throw, and finally Soler backed out of the box.
Okay, you're looking out over. If you're Soler, it's 1-2. You're behind the count, but you still want to think middle.
Out over the plate, and that's into left field. Merrifield scores, and Upton throws to the plate. He had no chance at all to get Mike Moustakas, and Jorge Soler goes into second base. He had a much better chance of throwing back to second base, but he heaved it toward home.
Oh.
And Soler moves up another 90 feet.
Beautiful fortune there. He could have hit that, lined out to Cozart, might have made a double play on that. Watch the sequence here. 82 away. There's the 90. That was the cookie he wanted. That's the wild pitch, got him over. And that's the one that laced. He laced it. It was elevated. And Tropiano was going, oh, my guy. Cozart jumped a little bit too late, but of course that ball was hit at 100 plus.
Off speed and a strike to Alex Gordon. He is 0 for 2 so far. So Soler picks up his 16th double and drives in his 27th and 28th runs.
At 103.5 miles an hour, Cozart, he got up a little bit too late because that ball was hit by him. Hanging breaking ball. Hit by a grown man.
Blocked by Maldonado. Tropiano has thrown 90 pitches. Johnson appears to be ready to go in the bullpen. He gets another strikeout of Alex Gordon. 2 down. And now here comes Mike Scioscia. Dozier has doubled and flied out to left field. He's had 2 good swings against Tropiano, so Mike Scioscia wants to bring in a fresh arm.
Yeah, that fly ball almost went out of the park. Just missed him.
Jim Johnson is a Chevy call to the bullpen for the Angels. Big hit in this 5th inning with 2 on and 1 out.
103.5 miles an hour. That ball was well struck, and Cozart shouldn't be ashamed of missing it. That ball was by him before he even reacted. Merrifield scored, and Moose Duffy will take it.
And now big right-hander Jim Johnson, a one-time big league closer. He'll come on with Soler at 2nd and 2 down and face Hunter Dozier.
He's got good stuff. 6'6", 250, big young man. He's 92 to 96, hard sinking fastball. Curve change. There's a big curve.
Dozier doubled up the left field line against Tropiano in the 2nd inning and scored, coming home on an Escobar base hit. Off of his foot, and it's 0-2. Still 0-2. And that'll get away from Maldonado. That's the 2nd wild pitch of the inning. The first wild pitch put Merrifield at 3rd and Moustakas at 2nd, which made it easier for Soler to drive into. And now Soler is at 3rd base with 2 down.
Man, he just spiked that. And Maldonado, you can't blame him. He tried to square it up with his chest protector. Well, he had to move a long ways for that one.
Got the call. Boy, and that is some downward tilt coming from a 6'6" pitcher, and that caught the bottom part of the strike zone. But Tropiano's hanging breaking ball resulted in a 2-run Jorge Soler double. To the bottom of the 5th inning. So far so good out here in Anaheim, and we've known for a long time that today was a very important day for the Royals, as they had 5 picks among the first 60 today. Dayton Moore had been talking all offseason about goal number 1, replenishing the Royals farm system, and the Royals have completed those first 5 picks. And we have Dayton on the telephone joining us back in Kansas City. And Dayton, we're looking at those picks right now. 2 things stand out. Number 1, all college pitchers with those first 5 picks. And if those guys wanted to make up a basketball team in the offseason, I think they'd do pretty well.
You know, I didn't even notice that until you mentioned it.
And they're huge.
No, we're really pleased, Ryan. I mean, you know, we, as you know, we line the players up. You want to take the best player available. And then a lot of those players end up getting selected before we, you know, pick at 18. And, of course, we wanted to draft as much pitching as possible. The fact that all 5 of these guys come from really good programs that we're familiar with. We're familiar with the way they develop pitchers. We're familiar with their medical team. And we really are proud of what Ronnie has done, and our scouting staff, our analytical team, all coming together to make sure that, you know, we get the best pitchers available to us. And so we're really thrilled.
Jorge Soler is at the wall in right field, and that ball is gone. Now, Abraham Almonte is still playing it because the rules of the ballpark have changed here in Anaheim. No longer do you need to hit that ball up into the bleachers in right field. That hit the scoreboard above the yellow line. So Upton homers, and that makes it 5-3. So here we are talking about pitching Dayton, and the Angels hit a home run to the opposite field, and Upton has been on all 3 times against Danny Duffy. You and I just chatted a couple of days ago for our weekly radio visit, and you had talked about, you know, wanting to get as much pitching as possible. And I want you to repeat a statistic that you have said to me many times, and you talked about it on the radio yesterday, but the ratio of pitchers that you need to have to feel comfortable to get 3 good ones in the major leagues. How many do you need to have?
You know, Ryan, we've always felt that you need 20 average or better pitching prospects in your organization as starting pitchers, just to get 2 or 3 of them to the major leagues, because injuries, unfortunately, are a part of our game. You realize that you may have to trade a couple along the way as you try to fortify your Major League 25-man roster when it's time to win, so you have to factor that in. As you know, you're never really going to make an impactful trade if you're not in a position to trade young pitching, and if you are, you can oftentimes win the negotiations, and then sometimes, unfortunately, guys just, they underachieve, and so you're left with probably 2 or 3 remaining. And so you have to have a lot of numbers. We understand that quantity is really important, but in this case, the pitchers that we selected today, they all come from really good programs, great conferences. They've pitched at an elite level. We feel like they're going to compete with one another, make each other better. They fit in with this young wave that we feel really good about in Wilmington, High A, in the Carolina League, and, of course, in Lexington, in Low A, in the South Atlantic League. And so the great work that Lonnie and our scouts have done, the great work that Rene Francisco and our group, Victor Baez and the Dominican, continue to do, we like, where we're headed.
Well, we're watching a 3rd-round pick pitching right now in Danny Duffy, but we've also seen a 29th-round pick pitch very well this year in Jacob Junis, as Simmons will fly out to right field. So great major league players can come from every round, but of course all the attention is going to be on the highest pick. So let's begin with Brady Singer, and we're looking at him right now, Dayton, the right-hander from the University of Florida.
One of the premier, college pitchers, in the game. Obviously pitched it in a College World Series, part of a World Series championship. University of Florida has a terrific program. They're known for developing pitching. Our analytical guys really thought Brady was one of the top 2 pitchers in the game, along with Mize at Auburn, who Detroit selected number 1. So we feel really good about that. A tremendous competitor. Jim Buckley, our scout, has known him since high school, and so we got track record. And so when you select guys, you want track record, especially with the guys you're taking high. So he's going to be somebody that we count on, obviously, to be a big part of our future.
Dayton, can you stick around another half inning?
Absolutely, right.
So we go to the 6th inning. We're chatting with Dayton Moore. The Royals lead 5-3. And we're chatting with Royals general manager Dayton Moore, who's back in Kansas City. The Royals selected 5 college pitchers earlier today in the draft. Hud?
Dayton, I was going to want to ask you, since there wasn't any position players taken, I know you guys have a good stable of young, talented outfielders and infielders in the low A's. Was there a reason that you just went strictly pitching?
Hud, we actually had a couple position players that, we had in position hopefully to select, and unfortunately, just the way the draft works, there was 2 teams that selected those players, picked our pocket, if you will, and so the next available, player on the board happened to be a pitcher, a college pitcher, and so it just kind of fell like that. But we went into it, as you know, each and every year to try to take the best available player. The draft's unpredictable, and we wanted to take a lot of pitching, especially some college pitching that we felt could impact, still had ceiling, and move quickly. But just the right position player wasn't there for us, on this first day.
Dayton, you've said already twice tonight in reference to the college pitching, coming from programs that have a reputation of developing pitching. Is part of that knowing that they're coming from a program where their coaching staff didn't just grind them into the ground for 3 years?
Well, of course. I mean, and the truth of the matter is, Ryan, the last 5, 6 years or so, I think that the college programs have done a really great job of monitoring the health of their pitcher. And, as we get more information, as an industry, and these players are trained much better. I mean, we've got great confidence in the relationships that we have with the college programs out there, and making sure that the communication is strong. And so we all want the same thing. And, we want to see these young athletes perform well at the major league. That's their dream, to be major league championship caliber players. And so those college coaches share that same dream, and of course the player does. But the players are also, they're very in tune with what they need to do. They manage their personal lives much better than they did many years ago. They take an active role in their health and their arm care. And so I think we have much more confident today than we did several years ago about the health of the pitchers coming out of college.
All right, so when we're talking about championship Royals baseball, immediately the bullpen comes to mind, and it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that if you drafted pitchers, they were going to be starters, and if they became relievers, that would be something that would happen somewhere down the road. But now we're seeing guys that are being groomed to be relievers and back-end relievers. John Jay hits one to the left side, and Simmons gets a glove on it, but John Jay has his 3rd hit already tonight, and the Royals have 2 on with 1 out. I don't want to talk about anyone specifically, Dayton, but because the bullpen has been so successful for so many years here, what's your philosophy? Do you still want these guys pitching as many innings as possible, or are you going to take guys and say, you know what, we project this guy to be a reliever, so let's just get him working on that right now?
Ideally, you want to break them in as starters. You want them to be able to build up some innings. You want them to be able to utilize their pitches, develop their pitches. You like the fact if they're in a starting role in the minor leagues, you can prepare them in a side session or 2 between outings, so you can work on a lot of different things, get them in more of a development mindset, and that's part of it. But there are cases, Ryan, where somebody's going to be a reliever, and oftentimes it's a pitcher coming out of college, and then so if you want to fast track him, and we've had guys like that in the past, and I suspect that we'll take a guy or 2 like that this year. I mean, Louis Coleman comes to mind immediately, and although he started at LSU and was part of a World Series, a college World Series championship, I know JJ felt that he was more suited to be in the bullpen. Of course, we put him in the bullpen almost immediately, and he developed and made it to the major leagues much quicker. And so we all know the Wade Davis story. We signed him as a starter, and then we transitioned him. But and of course, Joaquin Soria was a similar type transition as well. But it's different with each pitcher. You try not to make advanced decisions on what's best for everybody, and you kind of let the naturalness of the pitcher kind of play out. You try to mold the development plan specific to him. But ideally, we want to develop them as starters as well. Look, if you're going to be successful relief pitcher in the major leagues, you have to be able to get hitters out multiple ways. These hitters are really smart today. There's so much information out there. and you want them to be able to use all their pitches. And so the best way to do that is to put them in the rotation.
Hey, Dayton, I know it's been a really busy time for you and a long day. I mean, it's almost 11:15 back there in Kansas City. Thanks a lot for taking some time and sharing some of the details on the draft, and I know you got a lot more busy days coming up.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Get us a win tonight.
All right, bud. Thank you.
Thank you, Dayton.
All right, Hud. See you, Rhino.
Well, I don't know how many guys have their general manager by way of telephone on the night of the draft.
No, it's great of him.
He's as accessible as any general manager I've ever been around, as transparent and as honest as any general manager I've ever been around.
It's outstanding. And you know the thing too, Rhino, he sounded excited.
Yep.
Love it. Get a bunch of pictures. The video of that one kid, man, he had some filth.
Jose Alvarez is a Chevy call to the bullpen. So now they have 2 on with 2 out, and Mike Moustakas coming up, and Mike Scioscia brings in a lefty, Jose Alvarez.
Hey, Jose Alvarez, nice ERA. He's under 3, 2.45, 25 2/3 innings pitched, 27 strikeouts. He's giving up a 2.14 opponent average. Those are all pretty good numbers. Left-hander, he's not overpowering. He's going to make you try to swing out of the strike zone. 89 to 93, 2 and 4 seam fastball. One stays straight, one moves a little bit. He sinks it. Tries to get the hitter to hit the top of it. Who's got under it?
That's the pitch he wanted. He put a good swing on it, just popped it up, and it's Upton, or Young rather, coming way in from right field. So the Royals strand 2. Alvarez needs to make just 1 pitch to get out of the 6th. bottom of the 6th against Danny Duffy. Let's take a look at Danny's Pizza Ranch pitching line. And the most interesting part is the bottom line. And Dave Holtzman has been doing exhaustive research, and he can't find anybody since 1974, when they started keeping track of these things. He can't find any pitcher since 74 who has started an outing with 15 outs in the air. First 15 outs in the air. So if you think this is rare, you are right, and then some.
Yeah, and then another thing that jumped out at me is there's no strikeouts. Duffy usually strikes out batters. I mean, he's pitched some up in the zone, and that's allowed him to pop up. There's Mr. Duffy, Mrs. Duffy, but he's fooling some guys too, and he has them out front. He's popping them up. So there's a combination of pitch location and effective change of speed.
This is a special stadium for Danny and the Duffy family. Now, Danny was a Dodger fan, and so was his dad. But when he was a sophomore in high school, he came here to watch Ryan Church. Remember him, an outfielder? Ryan Church went to a rival high school where Danny grew up. Danny watched him as a kid and then came out here and saw him play in the big leagues and watched Ryan Church throw out a runner at home plate. And then getting to the big leagues seemed a little more real when you see a guy that grew up in your area playing in a big league park and throwing out runners at the plate. And then Danny had a chance to see him after the game, and Danny, wide-eyed, congratulations, making it to the big leagues. And as Danny put it, Ryan looked him in the eye and said, you know what? If you work hard, you can get here too. And Danny says from that point on, he worked a little bit harder.
Yeah, and that's a great motivation. And it is nice to be, in a state that they have 4 big league teams. You can hit either one of them. He's on the coast, so he's able to sweep 5 big league teams. Forgot about San Diego. And growing up in the middle of the state, it was kind of divided where I grew up. Giant fans, Dodger fans, very few Oakland. And not a lot of Angel fans, but especially the Giants, when they had their little run there last 10 years.
Well, if you think about it, Hud, when you were a kid back in the 50s, only the Dodgers and the Giants were here.
That's right. So those are the main teams.
Marte was reaching, but he got the fat part of the bat on the ball, and Alex at the wall runs into the wall. And Jeffrey Marte, who was 0 for 16 coming into tonight, is 3 for 3 with a home run, and now it's a 1-run game.
Yeah, he got some good wood on a changeup, 83. See, it's elevated, and it almost like he knew it was coming. He felt like he got it all. Alex ran out of room.
So 1 pitch shy of 100. Duffy departs in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Kevin McCarthy will enter and face Martin Maldonado. now he departs with the Royals hanging on to a 5-4 lead. All 15 outs were in the air, and you got to go back almost 3 years. The last time Danny Duffy had a start and did not have a strikeout. 74 starts ago was the last time Danny Duffy did not register at least one strikeout.
Yeah, we saw that line. It looked a little strange. There wasn't a strikeout, but you know what though? They've got the lead. That's the bottom line. McCarthy's coming in. He's a bulldog. Sinker, slider, change curve. He's going to challenge hitters and fill up the strike zone. He's got some excellent movement. Keep it down here and hold these really powerful Angels. They got some good power in their lineup.
Two balls and no strikes on Maldonado, and there is Shohei Ohtani. He will pinch hit for Chris Young, and he's scheduled to pitch the day after tomorrow in the final game of the series. Two balls, one strike. We haven't had a big inning yet, but we've had a lot of scoring. Royals have scored in 3 of 6 innings. The Angels have scored in 4 of 6 innings. 2-2 on Maldonado. Just about every inning, with the exception of 2, has been a high stress inning, meaning a lot of pitches, a lot of base runners to deal with. But even though Danny Duffy goes 5 innings plus 1 batter, and Nick Tropiano went just 4 2/3 innings, both pitchers who did not have their A game tonight did a good job of not letting the game get away from them.
Yeah.
McCarthy gets a strikeout.
Good changeup.
And now here's Shohei Ohtani. He's a huge fan favorite. Just 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter. All of his starts as a so-called position player had been as the designated hitter. In Japan, he would not hit the day before he pitched and the day after he pitched.
Well, it's the first time I got the chance to watch him take batting practice, because it's pretty well known. He's only been here for a few months. The batting practice that he takes is pretty impressive. You know, he's 6'4", 200 pounds. He's lean, but he's got a lot of bat speed coming through that zone. That 60-mile-an-hour batting practice pitch. It's pretty impressive. And you know, just watching the batting practice there with a few accomplished big leaguers, you know, I was asking, who does he remind you of? He didn't. The only hitter that came to mind was Dave Winfield. The way he used to swing the bat from the right side, he was 6'6" and 230 pounds.
Swinging 3-0, and he's going to reach with 1 out.
Yeah, that's a hit all the way.
That's about as loud an ovation you're going to get for an infield single, but the way he's going, when he bends over and ties his shoes, he's going to get a standing ovation.
That's right. But you know what, though? You're on the left side of the plate. He swings a lot like Ichiro Suzuki. And there's no way, if Escobar picks it up, he throws him out, or Whitley. So that's a no-brainer for a hit.
And as we found out in Kansas City when the Angels were there, he can run. Ian Kinsler was 0 for 3 against Danny Duffy. Fastball fastball with good movement is in for a strike. Sinker dips low, 1-1 on Ian Kinsler. He is grounded into 7 double plays. That ties him for the team lead. 2-1.
That heavy sinker. If it's thrown the way McCarthy wants it to be thrown, that's hitters hit the top of it. McCarthy has induced a couple of double plays already this year, but he's done a good job at recording a lot of outs with ground balls.
Did he go? That wasn't a full swing, but it could have been an abbreviated swing and a miss. And Hud, you talk about hitters that are tough to strike out. You're lucky to get a swing and a miss from Ian Kinsler. He is the toughest in the major leagues to get a swing and a miss.
Solid hitter.
And now he's on with a walk. And that brings up Mike Trout with 2 on and 1 out. Winter is coming to Kauffman Stadium on June 19th as the Royals feature Game of Thrones night. Purchase a theme ticket to receive a special House Yost bobblehead featuring Ned on the Iron Throne. Purchase your tickets at royals.com/theme tickets. That's the Royals and the Rangers.
Okay, interesting matchup here. Hard, heavy sinker down low. Trout's a great low ball hitter. There you go. That's a good strike and a good spot. Back him off. He likes it down and in middle. He'll use the whole field and use it for power. 333 hitter in wrist.
Oh, 2.
Tough to double up. He's only ground into 3.
Fastball pouring in on him. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Okay, let's check it out. There you go. Now those 355 inside there like that spot, that's where he's been putting those in there, just off. Be careful down low. He has the ability to lift.
A shot into center field. Almane cuts it off. Almane throws to the plate. Kinsler went first to third, and that play was right in front of Almonte, but he threw to Dozier, the cutoff man. And so the Angels tie the game, and now they have a runner at third with 1 out.
Well, at least it did keep Trout from getting into second base with 1 out here. They still have a chance for a double play, but this ball was smoked, and that's right where he likes it. And it was easy swing. He barreled it. It's a good thing he didn't get underneath it. That'd have been 3. Ball almost took a skip right by him, but at least he was able to keep him in the double play situation here. Get out of the inning. With a ground ball by Upton, who's ground into 4.
Upton's had a good night. He singled in the first inning. He walked in the second. And homered in the 5th. Oh, and 2.
Tell you, that new home run line they made here in right field sure made a lot of Angels hitters happy. Don't have to hit it quite as far.
McCarthy was 0-2 on Trout, and then with the count 1-2, he singled in the run. And now he's 0-2 with Upton. Albert Pujols is on deck. Still 0-2. Upton is also a strikeout candidate with 72 this year. That's in the top 5 in the American League. Thought about it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Just outside. Salvi tried to bring it back in the strike zone. 2-2.
Good try.
On the ground to Moustakas. He's going to come to the plate. And Kinsler is out. So Moustakas realized there's only 1 out to get on this play, so he cut down the runner coming down from third.
Yeah, that's a heads-up play. And, you know, Upton runs okay. He's not a burner, but still, with that out right in front of you, Kinsler got a good jump and a good break. It's a good thing Salvi was able to get in there and didn't use his shin guard to block the plate. Kind of like that. That's a little bit old school there. Good play.
Pujols is 0-2 with his walk. One of his outs was with the bases loaded, and he flied out to the warning track in left field. Coming very close to his 15th career grand slam. Is through the right side, and we'll get Trout to the plate. Upton will go to third, and the Angels take the lead for the first time tonight. And Albert Pujols drives in his 1,949th run of his career.
Yep, he's able to really control where that ball went by keeping his hands inside of it and finding the hole. He knows how they play him. That ball's on the outer half. He's going to go that way with it. He's healthy, feels good. His feet aren't bothering him this year, and you can really tell a difference in his swing.
So the Angels have 3 in the 6th inning. 1 is charged to Duffy, and now 2 to McCarthy. Simmons takes inside, ball 1. Bunting and foul. A little superstitious there about someone touching his bat. Did you see him? He was telling Salvi, no, leave it on the ground, leave it on the ground.
No, he was doing that manners-wise because he hit Salvi with the bat. He was like, no, you don't have to pick it up. I'll get it. He was trying to be polite. He's a solid individual, and I met him, but I don't know him. But they talk about him being a real solid baseball guy. Talking with Kinsler, I asked Ian Kinsler about Simmons. What kind of, what's his most impressive tool? Is it his feet, his hands, his arm? It's his brain. He says he's constantly thinking baseball and talking baseball, even in the clubhouse. And he's an incredible athlete with incredible tools, all of them, hands. His release point is impressive as any, and the way he releases the ball from shortstop.
He's won 3 gold gloves, including a platinum glove.
Yeah.
Now Pujols takes off for second base. He's going to try and get in a rundown. And now here comes Upton, but Dozier applies the tag before Upton crosses the plate. So Pujols is not very happy about that, but he drives in the go-ahead run. The Angels get 3 in the 6th inning. A lot of scoring, not a high scoring game, but a lot of runs scored in half innings tonight. The Royals have actually out-hit the Angels 11-10. They have had many more chances with runners in scoring position tonight. The Angels have turned walks into runs, and the Angels have also out-homered the Royals 2-0.
Tell you what, Ramirez has got an impressive strikeout number. That's 40 and 33 and a third. Tells me he's got a good strikeout pitch, and that's a hard slider. Good fastball is sinking at 88 to 93. Changeup.
Salvador Perez on the first pitch thrown by Ramirez reties the game. Number 10 for Salvador Perez, coming, of course, on the first pitch.
Maldonado, he's got to know better than that. Man, he ambushed that first pitch. Ramirez, he dropped down, little sidearm action, thinking he can trick Salvi. Salvi says, how about if we tie this baby up with the 10th home run of the year? He knew it. Beautiful swing. Royals fans are here in Anaheim.
Slider for a strike to Jorge Soler. Of Salvi's 10 home runs, 5 have come on the first pitch.
you go.
Pulled foul by Soler. He is driven in 2 tonight. Back in the 5th inning, he drove in Merrifield and Moustakas. And at that point, the Royals had a 5-2 lead. The Angels got 1 in the 5th and 3 in the 6th to take a very brief lead. And now Salvador Perez ties it with a home run in the 7th. No swing. That is Ed Hickox, the first base umpire.
I know you want to see it. How far did it go? 410 feet, 106 exit velo. Plenty enough to get it out of here. Big A.
Simmons. One down in the top of the 7th inning. The Royals and Price Chopper are excited to announce the return of the Grand Slam 4-pack. Perfect for your family. It includes 4 seats in the View Reserve section plus 4 Royals caps, all for just $44. So head to your local Price Chopper to purchase this exclusive deal. Good for most Sunday through Thursday home games. They just announced the tickets sold at 32,553. Tickets sold, Hud.
Okay.
I don't think that is the actual attendance tonight.
No, I would not agree with that. They said it was. But I heard a lot of Royals fans on that Salvi home run come out of their seats.
Angels drew over 3 million last year for a 14th consecutive season. Southern California is notorious for late arriving crowds, and tonight they're really late. Kinsler throws out Alex Gordon. Alex is 0 for 4. And now they're 2 down. Here's Hunter Dozier, a one-time Royals first-round pick. Our sprint trivia question: name 4 of the 8 #1 overall picks since 2000 to make an all-star team. So since 2000, 8 #1 overall picks have been all-stars. They only want us to name half of them. There is one standing in left field right now.
Okay. If that's Upton, ding, ding, ding.
Justin Upton.
Okay.
Who was drafted 1 spot in front of Alex Gordon.
All right.
David Price. Correct.
There you go.
All right. I've got you this far, Hud. Take her home for us.
Okay. No problem. Terry Bradshaw said he's working a lot with Dozier on staying through the ball, but also being more aggressive. And he's taken some aggressive swings tonight. He looks good. And you know what? Running the bases, I noticed tonight how quick he looks on the bases. He's starting to feel good about himself.
Dozier skies it out to right field. Michael Hermosillo is out there now, and he makes a play, and that's the inning. Salvador Perez, right after the Angels took the lead, ties the game with his 10th home run of the year. Royals baseball on Fox Sports Kansas City is brought to you by Ford. Going further so you can. Tied at 6 to the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's our Pepsi fan of the game. That is Royals Senior Vice President Kevin Uhlich. And 2 ladies to his left is his wife Juanita. Not only are they Southern California natives, but Kevin Uhlich at one time was a bat boy here for the Angels.
He was.
Slowly worked his way up to the same position with the Angels that he has now with the Royals. Senior Vice President. He's in his 12th season now with the Royals.
Yeah, they're having a good time.
Here's Jason Adam. He's the 3rd Royals pitcher tonight. He'll get Simmons, Cozart, and Marte in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Adams will come right at you. Simmons, he's an aggressive swinger. He's swinging way earlier this year than he has in the past. He's one of the reasons he's so successful. He's taking the Salvi method. Get the heater first. Adams has one of those. Adam. Fastball, mid-90s, go a little bit upper. Big curve change. Yep.
Not a swing. There's the breaking ball he's been looking for lately. Jason had 3 straight, talking about high stress innings, and he got out of 2 of them. And then finally yesterday he had a pretty clean inning. He pitched around a 1-out single and had a scoreless 9th yesterday. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Simmons. Simmons drove in the Angels' first run with a sacrifice fly back in the 1st inning. Any thoughts on our trivia question?
#1 overall.
Since 2000 to eventually become an all-star. There you go, Hud.
Nope. This will be short.
Okay. We have identified Justin Upton and David Price. I've got another one.
Go ahead.
Joe Mauer.
Unload.
Correct. Just trying to think about teams that were really bad since 2000. The Royals in 2006 had the 1st overall pick in Luke Hochaber, and had he not injured his arm, I think he eventually would have made an all-star team.
Yeah, I thought about him.
Dozier goes into foul territory.
Yeah, I'm with you. 2000 doesn't seem like it was that long.
I know,
ago,
you'd think.
but that's 18 years.
Right.
It's not too many guys who can carry that kind of career.
Now, the Marlins won the World Series in '03, and Josh Beckett was a 1st overall pick, but that's a short amount of time going from 1st overall at a high school to pitching in the World Series. So we'll keep him on the back burner. Cozart is 0 for 3. Detroit lost 119 games in 03, so they had the first overall pick in 04. Can't think of who that was. Good start for Adam. He has a foul out and a strikeout.
He's got his breaking ball working. Sure is nice. Now he's shown that even without that big hammer there, that he can get guys out with his fastball. That's impressive because it's a mover. It's got some natural movement to it. How about
Adrian Gonzalez was the first overall pick.
How about Bryce Harper? Is he a 1-1?
Oh, there you go. That's it. Nice work, Hud. I was going back. I was going back too far.
You got them all.
And what about Strasburg? He was an all-star, wasn't he? Let's keep going.
Okay.
Let's go. We got. So then now we've got 5 of the 8. Little half swing and a fly ball to right is going to drop in front of Soler. And Jeffrey Marte, again, he was 0 for his last 16. And now he's 4 for 4 tonight.
You know what? It just seems that's just the way baseball is. I mean, he gets a big home run back in the 6th inning. Now he's just inventing ways to get hits. That's crazy the way the game of baseball is.
Kevin Cedergren is going to give us Adrian Gonzalez, even though it wasn't an official guess. So we have 6 of the 8.
Well, how about the Astros?
Ah, you remember who it was?
The shortstop.
Is it the Astros shortstop?
Correa.
There you go. There's 7. Since we have 3 strikes, I'm just going to throw it out there.
I think you should. We've already done it.
I think I'm wrong, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Josh Beckett, incorrect. But I'll bet he was. I'll bet he was 90, 99, or 98. I mean, he was close.
He was a horse.
He was 99, so he missed by 1 year there. Oh, and he was 2nd overall? Oh, I thought he was 1st overall.
I bet you more 1-1s that have not made the majors than have.
Who was 1st overall?
Got him.
Look at this. Marte saw that pitch down, and he was headed for second base, but Salvi picked it clean, and it wasn't even close over at first base.
And Marte, he's signaling to Mike Scioscia, man, can you please get me off the hook here?
Josh Hamilton before Josh Beckett.
There you go.
full answer to our trivia question. Garrett Cole was number 8. Pretty good, Hud. We got 7 out of the 8.
Okay.
It's kind of an insult that they only asked us to get 4, isn't it?
No, because I've been giving them a hard time. Look at it. Hey, they finally got the tallies out. It's pretty close. Closer than I thought. Look at you holding that baseball. That wasn't me holding that baseball. All right.
Right after I took it from you.
Yeah, I don't have one tonight. It's been killing me.
Cam Bedrosian will get the top of the 8th inning. The Royals have Escobar, Almonte, and John Jay coming up.
Okay, let's see if they can pick out a fastball from Cam. He's low 90s, maybe mid 90s. Fastball, sharp slider. That's his best pitch.
Meske had a good swing on a fastball at 92. He singled, drove in a run, stole a base, and scored a run back in the 2nd inning.
This guy, Cam Bedrosian, was a #1 pick by the Angels in 2010 out of high school. I don't think he was overall. I don't think had a 1-1 overall, 29th. Hey, now I wonder, we saw the great Jim Abbott up here. Was Abby wasn't a 1-1. Darren Erstad, 1-1.
Alex Rodriguez,
think of a few.
Ken Griffey Jr. Chipper Jones. Tim Belcher was, I believe, right?
Huh.
Nice stop by Maldonado. And that's with nobody on base. And he's still working hard to block balls in the dirt. It was Maldonado that snapped Salvador Perez's string of 4 consecutive Gold Gloves when he won it last year in the American League. To which Salvi said, "I didn't deserve to win a Gold Glove." It was not his best defensive season. He also was injured. Speaking of Salvi, when he picked off Jeffrey Marte in the 7th inning, that was his 20th career pickoff, which is the most in the major leagues since he debuted 7 years ago. Most by 3.
But
and right behind him is Martin Maldonado.
He's really throwing guys out this year. Watch this one here. Doesn't hesitate. Look at him. Didn't even look. Hardly look at all. He could feel it. He's always got his eyes on any of the runners out there. And he told me he wants it back. So he knows if they go on throwout percentage a lot, and he's one of the best this year.
Hermosillo makes a play in right field. 1 down in the 8th inning. Here comes the money man, Abraham Almonte. And if the Royals hit a triple in tonight's game, the Kansas City Honda dealers will make a $1,000 donation to the KC Urban Youth Academy. And Almonte has raised almost $29,000 in Sonic Slam innings, and with Honda triples, he is 1 for 3 tonight with a single.
Jim Abbott was 8th overall.
Out of the University of Michigan.
Yep, where he was he's had his jersey retired. One of his daughters is going there now playing volleyball, he told me, and he said he wanted to cry when he saw her in the uniform. He's a big Michigan alumni. Huge.
Going 2 on Almonte.
But that guy Jim Abbott, we were teammates with the Angels here one year when he lost 18 games, and he showed me more than had he been winning 18 games. He won. He lost 18 games and carried himself like he was in first place and having the best season ever. true example of how you carry yourself when you're going bad. People are watching you more when you go bad. And when you shine like that, pull. It's amazing what you do to other people. You lift them up. He was an impressive human being.
2-2. And for younger fans who should be asleep right now, most remarkable thing about Jim Abbott is he was born with one hand. Pretty strong left arm, and found a way at the major league level to pitch with one hand, and he was a pretty good fielder.
Oh, a tremendous athlete.
Every level that he progressed to, the feeling was, well, maybe he did it in high school, but not in Division I baseball, not Big Ten baseball. Then he gets to the minor leagues, well, not in professional baseball. Then he gets to the big leagues, well, not in Major League Baseball.
Yep, and he was a fantastic athlete. He was a quarterback in high school. He could do it all, and he was raised by parents that told him he never had a disability.
Kinsler backhands and throws out Almonte, 2 down.
Now, there was another big leaguer back in 1945. His name was Pete Gray. He was born without a right arm, or he lost his right arm in a childhood accident, but he made it to the big leagues. He was a hitter. Amazing. I've seen some footage of him swinging the bat. Pretty impressive.
John Jay has 3 hits, an RBI, and a run scored. Tim Hill warms up in the Royals bullpen. Not only did Jim Abbott do just fine in the major leagues, he threw a no-hitter in 1993 against the Cleveland Indians. One and 2 on John. Two balls, 2 strikes. Talk about Cam Bedrosian, and if that name rings a bell, his father had a long major league career. Steve Bedrosian. Bedrock was his nickname. Pitched parts of 14 seasons in the major leagues and won a Cy Young Award back in '87 with 40 saves for the Phillies. Out to Kinsler at second base, who barehands and throws out John Jay, and Bedrosian has a 1-2-3, top of the 8th. Angels will have their 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming up. Tomorrow night, same time, coverage in Kansas City begins at 8:30. And Brad Keller will make his second big league start. Andrew Heaney will pitch for the Angels. And then Ian Kennedy, who grew up out here, will go up against Shohei Ohtani. Tim Hill will get Maldonado, Hermosillo, and Kinsler. So it's not an ideal situation for Hill. No left-hand batters are coming up. But Tim Hill's had plenty of success this year against right-hand batters. And Ned Yost, he just had to do whatever he can to not wear a hole into his bullpen.
Yep. He's got some guys stepping up. Hopefully Hill will do the job here. Right-handers are only hitting .239 with 1 homer off of Hill. So he is handling pretty well. Funky little sidearm action. Riding in, a little sinker. Slider change. Low 90s. Deceptive, tough to pick up.
Pretty balanced.
Yep.
Got the inside, 2-1 on Maldonado. Check swing and a foul. I think you have to give the home plate umpire, Gabe Morales, some credit with that last strike. Now, we watch it in slow motion and we see where it crossed through the strike zone, and it was pretty clear that it was a strike. But there was a lot of discussion in the first month of the season with Tim Hill's angle and the ball coming in, unlike just about any pitcher, that maybe he was losing strikes. And I think Maldonado was upset because as he was watching the pitch come in and go into the catcher's glove, by the time Salvi caught it, I mean, it was way inside.
Yeah.
But when it crossed the front part of the plate, it was a strike. I think we saw a lot of pitches in the first month that were giving the illusion that they were rising. He was coming down low, and then when Salvi would catch it, he'd be out in front of his mask, which would appear to be a pitch that was too high, but again, across the front plane of the plate, it was in the strike zone.
Yeah, umpires, they got to be able to see it too.
3-2.
And you know, I remember I read an article on that as well, and Hill was not concerned about it, which is good. It's like, you know what? I'm new in on the block here. I'm not going to say anything. I'm okay. I'm just going to keep trying to get guys out.
A leadoff walk. So Maldonado's down to first, and now Michael Hermosillo will come up for the first time.
MLB At Bat is your #1 Royals app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Royals home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
That is Caleb Cowart running for Maldonado. Speaking of first-round picks, a one-time first-round pick of the Angels. We're going to say that Hermosillo missed with that bunt attempt, 0-1. All this talk about first-round picks on the first night of the draft, and then you get a guy like Hermosillo, who was drafted in the 28th round and got to the big leagues.
It's amazing especially in this business, in broadcasting, where we do research on players, you see where they come from. They come from the smallest schools to the biggest schools. It doesn't matter. It's the heart muscle that's tough to scout. The heart, the talent is one thing, but sometimes the heart's another. So you didn't get the bunt down for your skipper. He wanted you to. Now, you know, you certainly want to try to come through here, and you're going to be hacking. Time to roll up a pair.
Two balls, two strikes. Tim Hill grew up not far from here. He is from Sylmar, which is about 50 miles northwest of Anaheim. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Hill's missing. He's not lining his body up properly. He's fallen off heavy to the right side, to the first base side. Usually left-handers fall off to the third base side, but he's having a little trouble with his mechanics.
And that is just low, and I mean just low. Right where you want to pitch. So a leadoff walk and now another walk. And 2 on and nobody out to Ian Kinsler. Eldred's back on the phone with the Royals bullpen.
Yep, Kinsler came in to today's game hitting 191 against lefties and Duffy, and he went 0 for 3 against Duffy. So he hasn't hit lefties very well. And I would expect them to bunt him with nobody out. Top of the order.
If he did, it would be his first sacrifice bunt of the year.
Yeah.
And his first in 4 years. Never fair. No balls, 2 strikes. Hoping for a strikeout here, but we told you last time he was up. Not only is he hard to strike out, he's hard to get a swing and a miss against. And he got one. So Tim Hill strikes out Ian Kinsler on 3 pitches.
Excellent job sneaking that piece of cheese by a hungry Kinsler. Hey, hard to do, you mentioned it, but that's a good spot. The ball was by him.
Mike Trout has 2 hits, a walk, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Tim Hill did pitch against the Angels when they were in Kauffman Stadium back in April, but he only faced 1 batter, and that was Simmons. So everyone outside of Simmons is seeing him for the first time. It's just missing, but Gabe Morales has been pretty consistent, not on those pitches just down and out of the strike zone.
He has been.
2 on, 1 out. 1 and 2.
Nice job of changing speeds here. That got him.
Back through the middle. And that's into center field. That will drive in Cowart. And Whit Merrifield is steaming mad at himself. I think he figured that Alcides Escobar was going to get to that ball, and he hit the brakes right when he got behind second base.
Now, it looked like he tipped it. Hill did with his glove, and there should have been an out made on this play. There's no question, because he slowed it down, and Whitley could have knocked it down if he could continued his path, but he didn't realize.
He went to second base.
Yeah,
he was hoping for a double play.
Right, he didn't realize that Escobar was in the hole as far as he was.
So the Angels regain the lead, and now first and third with one out to Upton. So you get an out there, and then you have two down, no runs home. But instead the Angels have the lead, and they can add another run here by making a well-placed out. And now base hit into right field. So both walks turn into runs. Trout goes first to third. It is 8-6 Angels in the bottom of the eighth.
Nice swing. Upton again doing his job. A couple of hits to the right side tonight. One was a home run. He's not just a dead pull hitter.
It'll be Bert Smith with runners at first and third. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Club. Here is Birch Smith. Birch allowed a 3-run home run to Matt Olson in the 8th inning yesterday. And the A's took 2 out of 3 from the Royals, and now he comes on with a devilish 6.66 ERA. And he's facing the Angels.
He can strike him out. He's got power pitch. Good hard mid-90s fastball. Curve change.
Pujols has driven in a run tonight. One ball, one strike. Royals have led 1-0. They have led 3-1. They have led 5-2. The Angels have led 6-5 and 8-6. Fouled back to the screen. Boy, did he have a rip. And we were talking earlier about his bat has slowed down, but it's not slowing down like some people would suggest. And his well-hit average on elevated pitches is one of the best in the major leagues. And he took a pretty good swipe at a high fastball right there.
Foul it straight back.
One and two. That's a nice touch, isn't it?
Sure is.
I have never seen anything like that before.
Ah, that's nice.
Big 3,000 out in center field. He's going to drive in another run tonight. And now Upton is digging for third, and he is out. Another outfield assist for Alex Gordon. Number 86 in his career, but Pujols makes it a 3-run game.
Yep, check it out. Smith hung up a curveball. Didn't really hang. It was a little bit below the belt. That's a good piece of hit by Albert. Of course, it was in the middle. But watch Alex. He sees that coming, and he can't wait. Now, he's got to put it on the money. Look at the tag by Moose. Nice job. That's a perfect throw.
So there you go. The second overall pick in 2005, throwing out the first overall pick in 2005. We just took that ball off the field. That was Pujols' 1,950th career RBI. I have a feeling Albert doesn't necessarily want that. I have a feeling that that's going to be auctioned off somewhere.
Yeah, you know what? He probably said, hey, look, take all my RBIs, the ball's out, and see if they can make some money from him. He's a tremendous guy when it comes to charities. It's Albert Pujols Foundation. He's done a lot.
Sparrows hit off the end of the bat, and Whip will flip to second, and that's the inning. So the Angels get 3. The Royals have Merrifield, Moustakas, and Perez, who is homer tonight, coming up in the 9th.
It's been a back and forth affair, and we'll have plenty to talk about coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Joel Goldberg down by the Royals dugout and on deck circle. And after the game, we'll talk about Danny Duffy. Kind of a different start for him. All those fly balls and no strikeouts, so we'll look back at that. Plus the Royals bullpen with a tough one, unable to hold on to this point. So now it's up to the bats to try to get back into it. We'll hear from Ned Yost and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Ryan?
All right, Joel, thank you. Here's Blake Parker, who is 3 out of 4 in save opportunities.
He's a 89 to 94 mile an hour fastball pitcher. Slider split finger.
That was Jose Briseño, by the way, who is the new Angels catcher. Caleb Cowart ran for starting catcher Maldonado in the 8th inning, and now Cowart is at first base. Two and 0 on Witt.
Cowart looks like he's using Mike Moustakas' glove. Same color. It's a community glove, but I don't know if I doubt it. It just looked the same.
I will guarantee that it's not Mike Moustakas' glove.
Sometimes a player will use an opponent's bat, but it's similar.
Three and 0. Speaking of Mike Moustakas, he's on deck, followed by Salvador Perez. 3-1 on Witt. The Angels lost their closer, Kenyon Middleton, who had saved 6. And his ERA was right at 2, but he blew out his elbow and has to have Tommy John surgery. That is well hit, right center field. Mike Trout was playing over that way, and he's got it. Parker is the 6th Angels pitcher tonight. Up and away, ball 1 on Moustakas. He drove in the Royals' first run in the first inning. He also has a bloop double, a walk, and a run scored. High and deep to center field. Trout right in front of the track. So a couple of loud outs. And there are 2 down. And now Salvi, who has 2 hits, including his 10th home run of the year. Down and away, ball 1. Salvi's home run is the only hit since the 6th inning. Angels pitchers have set down 10 of the last 11. Got the call over the inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Parker's been a closer before, getting a shot here with Middleton being injured, but he finished last year as the Angels closer. One ball, 2 strikes. He is out of the University of Arkansas and from Fayetteville. He was a position player at Arkansas. Good arm, not much bat. So the Cubs took a chance and drafted him as a pitcher. And he turned out to be a big leaguer. No swing. 2-2.
He has a lot of funky motion with his windup.
And he is, you can tell just from his mannerisms, he is, you know, he reminds me of a little bit? Troy Percival, just amped up and a lot of movement and
Yeah,
just,
look at it.
you know,
He's making
flinching,
yeah,
breathing fire. mean, he doesn't necessarily remind me of his pitching motion and arsenal of pitches, but you saw more of Troy Percival than I did.
Yeah, but look at the face he's making. I mean, he makes faces too. It's like he's in pain. He just has a menacing look about him. Look at him shaking his glove.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there is.
There's about 7 different times when you think he's set, and then he does something else.
Exactly.
Okay.
I like the face he's making, man. Look, watch this.
That's a game face. And then sticks his tongue out for good measure.
Get him, Salvi.
Salvi's on with a walk. Our trivia question tonight, we talked about first overall picks. And then we've talked about a couple of guys like Jacob Junis or Michael Hermosillo for the Angels that go late and make it. And then there are guys that you just kind of invent, like Blake Parker, position player, strong arm. Let's take this kid, and it was the Cubs. Let's take this kid, see if we can make a pitcher out of him.
Yeah. I mean, how do they do that? Well, you know, they see the guys with good arms, and they may not be able to hit much, and somebody gets an idea. Hey, look, let them see what they can do on the mound.
Soler is driven in 2 tonight. Guys are down to their last strike. Brad Keller. I remember we were telling the story when he made his first big league start that it was the Royals and the Diamondbacks that looked at him, and he was not even throwing 90 miles an hour and figured someday he would throw hard. Able to, those are the great scouting stories. And you just look at his size and you look at his arm action, and with some certainty look at him and say, you know what, someday that 88, 89 is going to turn into 95. Well, he's calling it both ways.
He is. He's doing a nice job here late. The Angel fans are getting on him from the stands. That's some pretty good action there from Blake Parker, though. He's got some pretty funky stuff.
Fouled back over our heads. He's set. Now he's set. Nope, now he's set. Nope, now he's set. And he got the job done. So Parker saves his 4th. Mike Trout, along with Justin Upton and Albert Pujols, drive in runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a come-from-behind win for the Angels. They are 4-0 against the Royals this year. And they take game 1 of the series 9-6. We'll be back.